Good afternoon. It's a Sunday, heading up towards Sydney. Just coming out of Melbourne at the moment. This is really the we haven't got to the Hume Highway officially, but we're sort of getting there. I just crossed 3 lanes there, but I had to sort of get out of the way of cars. There's nothing coming, but now you'll notice something different, like big changes. I'm not in my K200 anymore. I've actually gone European. Probably a trader now. I have changed jobs, and I'll tell you the story. I wanted to go do changeovers, as I mentioned once before. I actually found a job. Now, this is going back to last November. I actually told my old boss that I wanted to do changeovers. That's what I was going to look for. He was going to help me out. He hasn't got a job that actually does it, because they haven't really got any Sydney-based drivers to do changeovers with. He thought about some of the Melbourne drivers that stay in their truck all week, but of course that did not work on a weekend, on a Friday night, because that means they have to go back up on a Saturday, and it just doesn't work because they have to go out Sunday. So, and no one wants to be stuck in Sydney and coming back working an extra day. So that didn't work. So I told him I'll be looking. He knew I was. He actually wanted me to go work for a company, but they were doing changeovers at one stage when the COVID was on, but they went back going direct. He asked them, I was actually going to go work for them, and that would be Air Road, but they didn't get back to him. So I think it's been 3 weeks now. Probably going, this is probably the 4th week. Okay, make up your mind where you're going. Anyway, I went for a job interview, and I told him I was actually going for the interview on that day. I talked to my new boss, gave him the number for a reference. He actually called, and it was up to me and another driver. Another driver was going for it. He wasn't sure whether he should, after talking to my boss, he wasn't sure whether he should, because he didn't want me to go, of course, but after talking to him, they sort of agreed that I was going to go over there, didn't have to give it any notice. I done one more trip to Sydney, come back, finish that morning, which I think it was a Wednesday. Was it Wednesday morning? Yeah, it was. Or might have been Tuesday morning. It was a Tuesday morning, yeah, end of the pay week. So I finished that day and started with this new job that night. So it was that quick of change. There was no break in between. That's how quick it was. So now my old boss, I didn't leave him without a driver. He actually had a driver starting. He actually had 2 drivers to pick from, and he put them both on from a company that closed. They closed up, sold all their trucks, so those drivers were left without jobs. So we put those drivers on. He knew them. They worked for Borders. They were doing the same thing, so it was easy transition over to start them. So it all worked out okay. If he didn't have another driver, I probably would have stayed on for at least 3 weeks. But it all worked out. It all worked out okay. So now I've got another job. I do changeovers. I am going through to Sydney tonight because of the long weekend, being a public holiday in Melbourne on Monday, or in Victoria. New South Wales doesn't have it. So rather than have a changeover done, because they haven't really got a driver in Sydney at the moment, he's away, so they had agency drivers on. So rather than pay an agency driver, I'll just go up there and do that load. Tuesday I'll be back to doing changeovers. Now the truck I'm driving now is a Mercedes-Benz, about just over 2 years old. Done 500 and almost 580,000. And surprisingly, there's no noise in this truck, not a rattle, not a squeak. I'm quite impressed with the way they're put together. Even my Kenworth, although it wasn't old and didn't make too much noise, when it hit some larger bumps in the road, it would have a bit of a rattle. This one gets a lot of wind noise, but they all do. Do I like it? I've never driven, this is one of the newer models. I have driven the older ones, and actually I've done a video when I drove the V8. This is a 2658, so 580 horsepower, not the 625, but it does the job. Trailers are fully loaded every night, maybe not on the way back from Sydney, but on the way up they are right to the roof. Every little space has a carton in it. The weight isn't too bad, they're not overweight or anything like that, not right on their weights. Never actually weighed one, but I've been told they're pretty well under. Do I like this truck? Now I'll be honest. They are a nice truck to drive. They sit on the road really well. They have their faults. Now I will go through the truck and show you it. And tell you my dislikes. They have all the safety features, but I can turn the lane guidance off. And the cruise control works well, but I don't like it where you can't turn off, where it slows down when it comes up to a certain distance behind a vehicle in front, because sometimes you forget. And Volvos do the same. It's not the only one, it's a safety feature. It's good, but not good. Easy to get around, just put your foot on the accelerator. You can overtake, but you're already slowing down by that time. You'll notice this truck actually has a stone guard, which I don't like. I dislike stone guards. The reason I dislike them is because it's really harder to wash the windscreen. I could go out and buy a little broom, stand on the ground with an extension on a little broom that I could, you know, bring myself and clean the window a lot better. And I could probably do that virtually anywhere. But I need a ladder to actually wash it. So I have to find service centres with ladders. And they're not, there is a few around, but they're not everywhere. And sometimes it doesn't work out where you have your brake. Now that's one of my dislikes, and I don't know, I think they make more of a mess on the windscreen having stone guards, but that's just me. I didn't wash this on Friday when I come back. I actually come back Saturday morning, So I had to leave early today. I have to have that night rest, so I have to be up in Sydney by 1 a.m. on Monday morning, because I have to have 2 night rests. Had the Saturday night, I got to have the Sunday night, or Monday really, between 10 p.m. and 8 I've got to have 7 hours. So if I get up there at 1, I'll have 7 hours to 8 o'clock. Now I'll have to explain that one day, night rest and things like that. It gets complicated, it really does. They should do away with it. I don't think it's beneficial to anybody. Most trucks work at night. You can't stop at night and have a night rest break. I don't know if there's any evidence to say that there's more accidents at night. If you had it or didn't have it, no one can stop anyway. You've got to get the job done. Doesn't make any sense. But anyway. So another dislike, the seats don't go back far enough in these trucks. This is a high roof truck. I can stand up in it. It has plenty of room for what I want to do, and even if it, look, I don't know whether I probably needs more in it if you're going to live in it. They do need to make that bed a little bit bigger, and they've probably got the room. They need to make these cabs a little bit longer, not very much, but just a little bit longer. That way the seat travel, this seat is hard up against the bed. Now, if they had a bit more space, I needed probably another couple of little notches to go back to make it perfectly comfortable. It's comfortable, I can drive it, and I'm used to it now, but the seat could go back a little bit further. I believe the newer ones, there's a new model out, this is the older model, hasn't got the electronic dash. That the seat does go back further. They need to make a bigger cab one, and they would be a brilliant truck. Comfort wise, being European, it's going to be comfortable. Rides the bumps really well. The seats aren't padded enough. They need to have more padding in them. You pay a lot of money for these things. They're, you know, you got this symbol here. It's supposed to be quality, isn't it? Well, the seat's not quality. Sorry Mercedes-Benz, but you know, it's not quality. It could do better. Needs a leather, needs a softer steering wheel. Colour gets very dirty. Really don't need the two-tone colour. This darker grey would be, if they put that right through, be fine. Lighter grey up, the brownie colour, beige colour up the top is okay, but on the dash, no, don't need it. So that's a couple of little things that I found with them. Very good visibility, big windscreens, single piece, I wouldn't like to replace it. Huge mirrors. Of course, the newer ones have got the electronic ones now. They've got the cameras outside with the mirrors that sort of sit here. I would like one of those because it would give you total visibility out that left-hand side and the right-hand side. You wouldn't have that blind spot where the mirror is, especially on roundabouts. Roundabouts, you've got to sort of look around the mirror. There is a little blind spot there. With a vehicle coming around a roundabout, if you happen looking the other way, and they come up by surprise. It has happened at Kenworth as well, I've nearly gone when there's a car in the roundabout. Got the mirrors at the front, where you can see down the front of the truck. There's one down the side. Don't really use that one, but always forget it's there. Probably a good blind spot mirror, but yeah, so the visibility is pretty good. As I say, with the camera ones now, it'd be even better. Now we'll go fully over the truck. I'll show you what it is and what I show you the rest of it. I believe there is a better version of it. This is probably more of a poverty, although it's a high roof, it's probably more of the poverty one. I believe there is probably a better one out there. It might even have better seats, I don't know, but I'd like to see one, see if it is. I'm pretty sure I have seen a bigger one on, you know. I don't think height-wise, I think the height's the same, but I think the quality inside might be a bit better, might have better options. Now I can go back to my old job if this one doesn't work out for any reason. I can go back to my old job if there's a position there. It would not be a problem at all. You've got to leave on good terms when you leave jobs, because you just never know. I do have to wash the truck now, which I didn't do before, add fuel. I do have a fuel card, but I do leave at a certain time every day. It's around 7 p.m, 7:30, probably a late one. And I usually get back by about 6:30 when I fuel, put the truck away. It goes in a shed. So those sort of things are a little bit of a bonus. I don't have to unhook out in the rain. I've got to take the truck outside, but I'm not unhooking in the rain. So the disadvantage, I've got to wash. Only have to do it once a week. Just keep it a little bit tidy. It's not a hard truck to wash. The front of it is probably the worst. I have cut my hand or my arm. There's some sharp bits on these trucks, especially this stone guard, things like that. Now I have had a couple of incidents since I've started this job, and I will show you the damage. Now coming back from Tarcutta, I hit a tree that was across the road. It was across both lanes. Now that was, anyone knows the Hume Highway. I was coming south at the Kiamba parking bay, and anyone that knows it, there is parking on the left hand side, but not very much parking. There's no parking bay as such. It's just a bit just off the road, just off the fog line really. So I always try to get in the right hand lane when I go past, because there is drivers hooking up trailers. A lot of drivers don't. But just past there, as you go down the hill, I hit a tree that went right to the right hand fog line. There was no way avoiding it, couldn't see it. That's probably another thing with these trucks, the lights aren't very good. Like, new ones have got LEDs, these have got H4s. Come on. It's modern times. It's only just over 2 years old. They could have put LED lights in them, but yeah, that's a cop out, I reckon. But anyway, so I hit this tree, and I will show you the damage. Yeah, pushed in that bull bar on that side, didn't do too much else. I've done a sensor, that distance sensor doesn't work anymore. So if I'm coming up behind something, I think because it's bent and it's pointing down a little bit, it actually comes up my dash, there's a fault there. Now that's the only part of the sensor that didn't work, everything else works. So that was, and as you see, I pushed the bull bar in on the left hand side, broke the step, and all that's to be repaired. And then just last week when I was at Tarcutta, I was waiting for my driver. I was changing, we'd done hook his trailer. I got out and talked to him, and someone rolled into my truck. But look, things happen. We've all done things. as you can see, it broke the tail light, and on their truck it broke the headlight. Look, trucks are drivable, unroadworthy but drivable. So we got them back to Melbourne. That got fixed that day, so I go out again that night, and it was really only a tail light and the red and yellow plate that goes on the back. Right, it's really all needed replacing. The guard was pushed up, but that was because it was just bent in a bit. They just straightened that up. Didn't have to replace the guard. So that got fixed. Look, I didn't get out and abuse the driver or anything. I just shook his hand. I said, you know, shake it off. He called his boss. I said, just shake it off. Get on with it. Things will get fixed. As long as someone pays for it, that's all you. That's, you know, things happen. As long as someone, you know, comes up and you don't want to pay for that sort of stuff yourself if you didn't cause it. You know, everyone pays, everyone moves on, fix their own truck, because it's just a headlight on that one, maybe a little bit of damage. But, you know, things happen. It's no good getting out, jumping up and down. It's not going to fix the problem. It's not going to fix your truck that, you know, that instant. So, you know, move on. And what else has happened? That's probably all that's happened. That happened when I hit the tree. Another damage happened the very next day. So I didn't actually call the boss. I actually got the depot manager, because he was in Perth at the time. When I hit the tree, he was actually leaving the next day to go to Perth, and I left it up to the depot manager to tell him about that accident, because we'll give him a week or so to calm down. I don't know when he's actually coming back, but we'll give him time to calm down. I mean, it wasn't my fault, but nothing, you know. You don't want any truck damage, whether it's your fault or not. Especially the very next day, because I don't know what the cost of that bull bar is, and I think it's going to be quite expensive. They did do a quote. I should find out and I'll let you know. But you can't claim on the tree for that one. It's something you have to go through insurance company, pay excess if there is one. Insurance usually goes up, so you can understand how things work. So they get a little upset, but you know, things happen. That's just part of truck driving, isn't it? Now, what else has happened? That's about it since the last video. It's a big change, I suppose. So, doesn't get much bigger than that, I suppose. Starting a new job since the last video. A lot of things have happened in the world, I guess, since then. Fuel prices have gone through the roof. Diesel prices have gone through the roof. I can still get diesel for $2.16 a litre. Have seen it for about $2.29. Just got to shop around. I got a BP card, so I have to go to BP. BP just up the road from the depot is, yeah, that's where I got it for $2.16, somewhere a little bit dearer on the highway. I will have to get some on the way back, but I might just put, if it's a little bit dearer, I might just put, you know, 200 or 300 litres in just to get back, and then I know the price down there, and if it does go up a little bit, it'll probably only go up to about 220 or 221, something like that. I did shop around for me. I got a diesel vehicle as well, I did shop around and save 7 cents a litre. So it pays to have a look around as you're just driving around. Even though I get a 4 cent discount where I usually get my fuel, that's because of the shopping vouchers. And yeah, still got 3 cents cheaper than that. So and of course, fuel prices go up, everything will go up as well. Food prices will go up because transport costs go up. So everything eventually will be a lot dearer. You won't get a pay rise, of course, to cover it, but you know, what can you do? Sometimes you wonder whether it's all true, whether they have to put these prices up. I can understand some countries getting their oil from Russia. I don't know whether Australia does, but you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? They're going to put it up anyway and make an excuse. When something major happens in the world, there's always gives everyone an excuse to raise prices, I guess. And that happens everywhere. There's no country, I don't think, that's immune to it. And it's usually big businesses that make the money, not the little business, not the small business. They can only put their prices up so much. Big supermarket chains can put their prices up. You have to buy food somewhere, don't you? One puts it up, they're all going to do it. It doesn't matter whether transport costs go up, big business will always cover it. So they'll never lose out.